Everybody, welcome to another episode of What's It Giving Tea Time Podcast, episode 3. We got our girl Shia Diamond playing in the background, Keisha Complexion. I'm back with my girl Fox, and we have 2 special guests. A familiar face and voice. Miss Jaisha Kylie is with us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, boo boo.
It's been
How
a
are the
minute.
girls feeling?
The girls are here.
The girls are here, and the girls are ready to tackle and shut up.
And we also have a special guest, Miss Brianna.
Hi.
Thanks so much for joining us. It sounds like somebody is shuffling through a box of crayons.
Oh, you can hear all of that? Sorry about that, honey. I was getting my makeup brushes together. I have an early gig in the morning. Sorry, I'll stop. Sorry. But I thought I can, do 2 things at one time. Clearly I can. All right. I'll sit back.
Well, Jaisha, since you've been on the show, I know a lot of people, like, you were definitely a fan favorite of Tea Time with the Girls. Like, people always ask me about, how's Jaisha? Where's Jaisha? Like, you are definitely a standout. Yes.
What is it? Like, why was that such a standout personality?
I think that people really appreciated, like, your strength and you're very, like, you're unapologetically you. And you own the fact that you're trans. You own the fact that you're dark skinned. And a lot of girls are struggling with accepting both of those things.
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean?
What am I going to do? Bleach my skin, honey, and try to blend in? It's not going to work.
That's what the girls are doing.
That's what the girls are doing.
It's not going to work.
But that's the reality. A lot of girls, that's where the girls are. Like,
I mean, if we can really talk, I think the thing about it is that it's so rare to see a girl living her full, unapologetic, authentic truth like yourself.
Really? You girls don't do the same?
No,
I do. But I think to an extent, messy.
I do. Okay, I'm listening, Fox.
So how blog talk realness, honey. But yeah, I was thinking that, like, when it comes to you, Jaisha, you do live in your unauthentic realness, and I even said this, like, I think I may have told you this before, but your whole fantasy fulfilled, that is like kind of like your thing. You should like really hashtag that and like just run with that, because you are living your fantasy fulfilled, and some of us are still chasing our fantasy.
Oh, I see. I get it.
In the face of like how the court case turned out with the with that long battle that you were going through, that you came up to tell us about. Did you want to give us an update about that?
Well, I mean, the update is that the law does not care. They had pushed it on for 2 years to the point where they couldn't charge him anymore. And then there was just a lot going on. I think the DA messed up, and I had about 3 different DAs throughout the 2 years. It just wasn't a case that they were interested in really putting any effort to. And then when it got to the day before the trial, I think they realized that video, the live video that went viral, was going to incriminate not just him, but also the police that were there. Because in the video, the original part, they had taken the knife away from him and told him to keep walking.
Wow.
And
there was evidence tampering.
Huh?
There was evidence tampering.
Right. And then in the video, you hear them like kind of trying to convince me to just leave it alone. So it was just so much wrong on the law's part. It was so much wrong on the DA's part. It's so much so much went wrong, and I just never have been more mad, like more upset, you know.
Asia, did you have any legal representation during this whole? Because it's
I had the DA, but I guess what it taught me was that you just really need to invest in your own lawyer to fight for you, because I thought that they were really on my side, but they weren't. They thought that if we push this back long enough, she'll just be uninterested, because that happens. People are like, this is going on long enough. I just want to move on with my life. And 2 years, I'm still standing there like, what's up? Hey. So he literally got off with nothing. And what they were charging him with felony charges. Like, it got really serious for him. And the moment that they had changed the charges from like these hate crimes into felony charges, then it became out of the judge's jurisdiction, and she couldn't no longer try it. So they were just going to throw it out altogether. So just before they threw it out altogether, the DA was like, well, we at least got you a order of protection, stay away order of protection for 2 years. And he pleaded guilty to disorderly conduct, and there's no consequences other than the stay away order of protection. And that's it. That's it.
Daisha, just really quickly, because this is I want to interject here. And I want to just bring people up to speed. I do apologize. Bring people up to speed that are listening to this and being introduced to us for the first time. Really quickly, a couple years ago, you can actually go back to the episode in the last season of Tea Time with the Girls. I forgot which episode it was. Ashley, if you could possibly pick that up for me, I would really appreciate that. But it was the last. Well, no, it was not technically. It was the episode where Jaeja came on, and she was the guest host, and she basically had talked about an incident that happened to her previously before coming on the show, where she was the victim of a harassment. And I believe the story goes as to where you were on your way, I guess. I think you said that you had a flight to catch that day, and you had to go to the beauty supply store, and just one of those pop in, pop out type of deals. And you maybe had a doobie on or something like that, and the guy came out and harassed you. Can you fill me in to exactly what happened, just to bring some of our listeners up to speed?
Okay, so about 2 years ago, yeah, everything that Fox just said. I'm running out the door real fast. It's early in the morning. Walk past this random guy. He was just very offended that I was trans, and started going off, calling me all types of faggots and stuff. And when I responded back to him, because generally before this situation, I'm one of those girls that if you want to twirl, we can twirl. I'm okay with it, But I've never been in a situation when someone pulled a knife out on me. I've never been in a situation where, it's one thing to get your ass beat knuckle to knuckles, but it's another thing when you're getting stabbed up or being threatened to be stabbed. So long story bearable, because it's just really,
I know you get angry every time you bring it up. It's a big
right. So that's why I'm gonna make it short, because it really, really did change my life emotionally. Like, it really, I see a therapist once a week and a psychiatrist twice a month over this shit. Because it's just really, really traumatizing. But it was a random act of violence. Dude was that offended that I was trans that he felt that my life just meant nothing, and he really just tried to kill me. And just so happened, as we were squaring up to fight, and him about to cut me, the cops just so happened to come. And that was another thing too. They didn't want to arrest him. They forced me to call the police, the 911, versus them just handling it. And it just was it was just a lot of fucked up shit going on. Long story bearable, I just realized that not only does the Black community or the society doesn't see for us, but the law doesn't really care either. Because, only when they let this dude off for free, off with nothing, the only thing that taught him and everyone that he knows that it's okay to attack and kill girls like us. It's okay to bash us. It's okay to do that. That's the only other message that I can ever think that you could that you can teach somebody like this. And I was just so mad. I wound up calling my brothers, which is something I probably should have just done 2 years ago, and oh, I forgot I'm live. You know what? I can't even say that. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Forget it.
But like you're saying, Jaija,
huh?
A lot of trans girls are dealing with this situation where they're being harassed in public, and they're being they're basically being victims of violence, and the police will show up and they'll, but I feel like the court system really fails in these situations because they always see it as if we provoke people.
Yes.
Our existence.
Right. We're out tricking people. When I'm minding my own business.
And one thing I will tell you, Jaija, is that I don't ever want, aside from the hoopla and the parodies I may do for the Chick-fil-A or whatever like that, I don't ever want to make any fun or mockery of your experience. Because I can say myself personally that I know what it's like, because I'm right now fighting a case that happened to me a year ago. And I think I did post it on Facebook, but it's one of those incidents that I think I posted on Facebook, but due to the image that I have and everything like that, people are probably, well, girl, what did you do? What did you do but anyways, this is one of those incidents that honestly, it was out of my control. It was just me being the victim of a situation. And I'm gonna just state really quickly, I met a guy off of POF on one of the very few times that I'm on POF without being banned, which is usually sometimes or like less than 48 hours nowadays. But now, when I was on there, I met the guy, we messed around and everything, and whatsoever. I paid for his Uber, and basically, at some point or time during the time that we were together, we had a disagreement. He didn't want to do something, I didn't want to do it, and bam, okay, so you can go. All right, so he's thinking, oh, are you going to pay for my Uber going back? Oh, you would go all the way back to, okay, I will pay for your Uber to go back to the train station. When I just figured out that he was going to the train station and not back to his residence, entitlement issues, he got out the Uber, came back to my house, basically start banging on the door, and I didn't open the door, and he kept coming back, banging on my back door, because I would not pay for his Uber to go back. The next thing I know is he took a brick and threw it through my window.
Wow.
Yes. I got pictures. I basically had the police come and everything. I know I did not go live for that particular incident because, like I said, there was a lot going on in my life, and it just wouldn't look good. I don't think I would have looked like the victim. But yeah, it was one of those incidents that I felt alone. I felt like, wow, this is, I have no one to have my back or whatever like that. So anyway, nutshell, it's a year later, and I paid for the window and everything like that. But the courts are giving me the same runaround. Like, oh, can you present the receipts of when this window was broken? All this. Can you present the screenshot that you guys were actually on POF together? And they're making it seem like if I don't have this, and that, then we can't proceed with this, and that. So ultimately, then the case will be dismissed. So yeah, it's all like a setup in a way. And it is a black trans woman. I'm sorry, it makes me feel like my black trans life does not matter.
It doesn't. It's not even that you feel that. This is just the facts of it. This is not an opinion. These are just the facts. I really thought that the law was on our. We had the law. At least I was protected. I've never been a girl that has walked down the street, and I've never been that person that walks outside and think, "Oh my goodness, I need to cross my heart and ask God for protection because the policeman is going to shoot and kill me accidentally or however he feels." That's never my fear. There's not even a thought in my head. But what I do fear, the thought in my head that keeps me from living my best life, is that I'm going to go outside and meet Jerome and Tyrone and them at the corner, and they're going to feel that my life means nothing. And they know by law, the law doesn't really care either. And it's going to be my day to either get beat up or get killed. You know? And if I can share this with, if I can share this with you girls, I used to think until this situation happened, like I hadn't had to really fight in a really long time. And I thought in my mind, I was past that part of my transition. You know, I thought that was for the girls that, you know, for us girls, when we first start out, it's a bit troubling. It's a bit, you know, we got to fight to fight for our respect.
That's what they call early transitioner struggles.
Right.
Basically,
I thought I was
a
way
lot of
past
things. Let me break down what that means for people who don't know. So every time a transgender girl like starts transitioning, there's a lot of things that she goes through because it's her first time on the rodeo. So there's a lot of things that the girls are experiencing because this is their first time expressing as the opposite gender. I know that keeping on the eye, I remember the first summer that I transitioned, I was with a friend and we were in an area in Brooklyn that was known. We didn't know that it was that, but we've realized that it's a very big Caribbean area. And we were just making our way to a deli, whatever. Similar situation, just minding our business, trying to get to point A to point B. And a group of guys just started like following us, trying to get our number. And we ignored them. And I don't know if it was me or my friend, but someone spoke back and said, we're good or we're not interested. And then, oh, you's a man. Oh. And all we heard was this like bottle shattering. Like they were trying to throw bottles our way.
Right.
And it's just crazy how you try to talk to us. We rejected you. Now we're men. Now we're monsters. Now we're this and that.
Yeah.
And if we were to just been quiet and play, you know, like it's ridiculous how men act when they're being rejected.
Yeah.
Like, Brianna, is there anything that you could like to, I guess, like being the person that is
the law girl?
Yes, I'm trying to word it right. That you want to reject or that you feel compelled to say about any of these incidents, just as a trans woman that is studying law and is going to be one of those people that.
Well, of course I can't. I am not barred by any state, so I cannot give any legal advice. However, like we all know that the legal system is stacked up against minorities anyway. So the fact that Asia had to go through that situation and that the prosecutors in that particular case probably stretched the case out so maybe they could get past the statute of limitations for whatever crime they were going to charge that man for. That was really messed up. But that stuff like that is why I wanted to go to law school, so I could be a presence in the legal system and I can bring like my personal lived experience and my passion into the legal system, because it's really not a lot of us. And when I say us, I mean trans women, specifically like trans women of color, Black trans women. And we need to not only be advocates for ourselves just anyway, like we really need to be advocates for ourselves in the law, because if somebody's never had to go through that situation, if somebody's never been in a situation, like for instance, early in my transition, I had a situation back home where the guy was trying to holler at me. And then once I rejected him and then he clocked me, it turned into a situation where him and his homeboy and his homegirl was going to jump me. And I had to think, well, I could sit here and try to take them, but if the police comes and the police catches my tea or they find out why these 3 individuals are trying to attack me, then the police might turn it on me and I might go to jail for getting attacked for being trans. So
yes,
that kind of inspired me to get into the law because to be truthfully honest, a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people are not trying to understand. And a lot of people just don't care because it's not their situation. It's not their struggle.
Right.
It's not what they have to go through on the regular basis. So I'm definitely an advocate for more girls who are interested in becoming lawyers and getting in the law, like taking the steps and going to law school.
You're coming in really choppy.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me clear now?
Yeah.
You were just coming in real choppy.
Oh, sorry.
Like, if you're moving around, just don't move around.
Oh, sorry. So, yeah, I'm just an advocate for our community members to go through law school, even though it's a very long and hard and shady process. And for the girls that want to go and actually work for the state's attorney or the district attorney and actually be a part of the process and actually use a voice to say, hey, it's not right to deny this victim access to justice. It's not right to re-traumatize this victim by not vigorously pursuing the case. And these are the reasons why, because if we don't do this, this trans woman or the next trans woman is at risk to be attacked again. So,
right.
So yeah, it's just really unfortunate, but that's why it's so important for minorities to be represented from the prosecutorial level on up to the corporate and business level.
I wanted to say one thing. Like, I know one of the things we wanted to talk about today was some of the transphobic apps and how that actually can sometimes be turned. That could be the cause of some of these trans women that are being murdered. But before we get into that, well, not just I. We're going to make this a we. We as trans women, I think that we should start looking at more things as a broader thing. And one of the things that I feel that we as, trans women need to do is, even if we want to bridge this broken bridge that we already have between us and cisgender women, we need to start making, how can I say, some of these issues that we go through, there's some of the same issues that they go through. And I'm going to give you, because sooner or later,
but we know
that bullshit.
We know that.
I don't want to hear this bullshit, Pop. I don't want to hear. Hold on.
We know that.
I don't want to hear that bullshit. I don't want to hear any of this bullshit. Okay, after this situation in life, I'm sorry to cut you. I'm sorry to cut you, Fox. I don't want to hear this bullshit because after this situation, what it's taught me is that, no, I don't want to blend into society. I don't want society to give me their approval or their acceptance. I know, look, let me say this. I no longer want
it for you.
What?
You got it. I said, if you don't want to hear the bullshit, you can't expect anyone to be sympathetic for you. We have to stand together if we want to have any type of cause. Us being in our own little bubble, let's see how far that's gotten us.
No, you have to understand where life is taking me. This is my experience that I only can speak from. I'm 36 years old. Shit, I'm pushing 40. Okay. And what life is taking me is that I no longer want to be accepted. I don't want your approval. What I need you to do is mind your own fucking business. That's the only thing I need you to do. Because I don't care about what they got going on in their lives. I don't care about what cisgender women are going through. That's none of my business. And I don't care to try to even out the games. We will always be hated by these girls because black women hate other black women. Now they got us to compete against, and they want to throw that up. Well, there's no competition because I'm a real woman. This comes down to men. The black woman with the same mentality. Oh, they're out there tricking our men. No, we're not tricking. What the fuck we need to trick them for? They barely treat you motherfucking bitches right.
I understand the anger that you have, but one of the things that I'm going to say is I tend to have the same anger. I tend to have the same anger with life in general. Why even get up every day? You know, I'm gonna have a shitty fucking life. There's so much planning. You know, either one or two things are gonna happen before I get 45. Either I'm gonna die of AIDS, either I'm gonna die from being killed by trade, either I'm gonna die from being killed by one of my two-timing sisters. You know, so why even live life? No, but the fact of the matter is that that's the attitude that you're having toward this situation, Daisha. That's the attitude that Ashley's having toward, and as long as we have that divide up between us and cisgender women,
it's not a division. It's not a division. It's not a division. This is not a division, Fox.
You said it. You said it about the fish. You can tell from your anger. And the thing about it is that it angers me because of the fact that I'm the one that gets blamed all the time when it comes to, oh, we're doing this division here, but we're not pointing out the facts. We're not pointing out the fact that there are people in our community that are to blame for a lot of these situations. Why is it that the people that can get out there and promote their book and say trans women are women, period? Why they didn't come out to the forefront and fight for you, Jai Asia, like they did for all these dead trans women? That's why
because this is the truth of, this is not about just trans girls or black women. This is just about the society, period. We fake like we care about shit when we don't really care about anything. This is society, period. On social media, wait, Fox, because you're just yelling. This is just society. On social media, every single week there's a new scandal to talk about for 2 or 3 days or for about a week. And then next week, another scandal comes up and no one thinks about what happened last week. The victim or the person that caused harm to someone else. That's yesterday's news. Nobody cares. We can get press for girls who were denied chicken over in the hood. We can get the press for that, but we can't get the press to speak about how many girls of us are being killed. Stop yelling, Fox. Stop yelling, Fox, because Fox, your experience, your life experience is completely different.
We can get press for that because guess what? Tranny Bear and that other lady, they had the association with Ben next to Laverne for people to care.
Right.
You know, that's what it's all about.
Right.
You know, that's why come that same news place to not come out there when you were being harassed by this man and had your life in danger. But
right. But the point I'm trying to make is this, right. You get what I'm saying when it comes down to that. You know,
right, it's a numbers game.
And what that taught me,
it's a numbers game.
And what that taught me was, okay, so even the girls that we look up to, even the girls that are in position to make a difference, they don't really care because they're living their best trans lives. That has nothing to do with the gutter. That has nothing to do with the girls that are not known. It has nothing to do with everyone fakes like they care. Excuse me. What's going to happen in Hollywood and within the next short couple of years when the trend of having a transsexual on your show is over? When this phase is finished and the rest of the world or Hollywood is over the fact that we've been faking like we really care about y'all faggots, but we really don't. What happens then? We're still out here going to be struggling our best, living our lives and struggling, fighting every goddamn day. Not all of us are going to be famous. Not all of us are going to be pretty. Not all of us are going to be passable. Not all of us are going to be real. Not all of us are going to be able to go get that job. Not all of us are going to be able to fit into society and be respected. We're not.
Do about it.
Right. So I want to say this. I want to interject. And people in the comments are saying, "Fox, stop yelling."
She's just yelling, right? How do you see the comments?
So basically, if you go on another device to the channel, Tea Time Network YouTube, you could click the actual live and you can see the comments. I'm going to say this. Okay. So we all know that with the justice system, if a story has a certain amount of coverage and if it's a popular story, they push to make a conviction to favor the public. Unfortunately, this situation with Jaisha, the video went viral, but the court situation was way after the wave. So people, it died, right. The hype died down. People stopped caring. I agree.
People stopped caring, right.
Shout out to Tashawn from Tea Time London in the comments. We love you, girl. Shout out to the girls, the Black trans women all over the world. London, Scandinavia. All right. What I'm gonna say is that if something were to happen to me, I'm a Afro-Latina trans girl who's not the ideal size to be on a cover of a magazine. Will people care? When a girl's pretty, beautiful, that trans woman, Erica Thompson, who was arrested and everyone was sharing her story that she was being mistreated in a jail. I don't know if you heard that story. Everyone was sharing the story. She's so beautiful. I cannot imagine. People. Hello?
I'm here.
Yeah, so everyone was sharing it, and the first thing that they said was, she's so beautiful. So the question is, if you're not the ideal beauty, do the trans girls care about you?
No.
If you're not someone that they want to sit next to, do they care about you?
No.
They don't.
You know how fans
you have to stop yelling. You just, this is not gonna work yelling. Not.
Jaisha, your phone is breaking up.
What to say about this?
No, your phone was breaking up.
I'm typing and pasting for us to understand. All right, what you guys say about this, girl?
I mean, to what I said before, like, people don't really care out of our community, in our community, unless it's happening to them, which is really like sad and unfortunate. I don't know. That's just why I go so hard. Like, I don't care like what I do, whether I'm in law school, what type of job I get, what type of position that I'm in. I know just by virtue of me being a Black trans woman that there's a high chance for me to be a statistic. And I just think so many girls get comfortable in their privilege and they think that it could never happen to them. And then when it does happen to them, they gag, but they alienated the community and try to make so many girls feel it that you know, they don't even know where to begin or how to reach out or how to find community. So that, you know, so that's why it's important for me as a Black trans woman, as a proud Black trans woman, to, you know, not forget where I come from and to not forget why my voice and why my visibility is important, because none of us, from the regular girl that's just starting her transition to the Janets or the Lavernes, none of our lives are set up in a way where we're insulated from the struggles that we have to go through on a regular basis. And I just feel really sad that your particular story was not able to get the press and the traction and like the community support that it needed, because maybe if you would have got the groundswell of community report, this situation would have went another way. And I think that just speaks to the fracture.
I don't blame the community. I blame my actions, because I thought I was following what the DA, I really thought they were here for me. So they're the ones that were like, okay, we know you do a lot on social media, back from that. So if you like notice, I barely hardly anything. I don't go live. I don't do anything because I spent the last 2 years.
Well, let
you guys breaking.
Well, let me jump in real quick. I necessarily, I'm not blaming the community, but I think the lack of response speaks to the symptoms within our community of us not being able to come together. And truly, I really feel like it's a byproduct of the nonprofit industrial complex, and just how we feel like we have to compete against each other for different positions and stuff in that world. And when things really go on, we really can't band together and come together to like make the type of impact that we need to, because this isn't the first time that something like this is going to happen, and it's definitely not going to be the last.
Yeah, Jaisha, really quickly, it will probably help if you put your headphones on. If you don't have your headphones on. Oh.
Why you guys can't hear me?
You're breaking up.
Girl, you sound like R2D2.
Oh shit! No, that's not what I'm trying to get.
Girl, you giving a T-Pain tea.
Yeah. T-Pain realness. Auto-tune realness, honey.
Is that better? Is that better?
Still sounding kind of computer. Yeah.
All right, so then I just listen to you girls talk because I don't know what the problem is.
Ashley.
Yeah.
Okay.
I got just going on.
I'll try maybe leaving and coming back in.
Yeah, you know if she leaves, she ain't coming back. She feel like, I know Jaisha.
In a jail.
I don't know if you heard that story.
What?
The story. She's so beautiful. Who's playing that?
Oh.
Are you watching again?
Hello?
Huh?
I didn't understand what she said. Hello? Jaisha? Is Jaisha still here? Jaisha. Computer love.
She's still in the room. I think she went mute. I'm not sure. But okay. So we kind of got away from the main topic, but I'm glad we did speak about that because it was a conversation that needs to be had. Basically, if you are a trans woman of color and you do not have a certain amount of followers, or if you're not the girl that people consider to be fab or that sickening, people won't show up for you. Yeah, people won't show up for you, and they don't care anything you got going on or any support that you need. You won't get the support. It's evident. But
well, let me jump in real quick. I think that was like a piece that played in it, but I think the thing that worked in Erica's favor is her connection to the ballroom scene, and also her connection to Kelly, who was able to amplify, what was going on in her particular situation. But you are right. The passing privilege and beauty privilege, is real in our community.
Mm-hmm. Right. Because if you're, but my whole thing is like, I feel like the question always lies. Like everybody's idea of realness and beauty is different. Like, I feel like, how do we have one mindset of what real is? Like, I just think that that's really like, oh, she's real. Like, oh, you think so? Like, everyone has a different look of what's real, of what realness is. And I feel like the situation with Erica, when everyone heard that a trans woman was being mistreated in a jail. Yeah, I didn't even care what she looked like. I shared the post, awareness. But there are people who, depending on what a girl looks like, they'll care, which is sad.
Yeah. Yes. And people have told me flat out when it's come to issues like, like the issue of me having to fight the court. I had a butch queen tell me.
Well, maybe no. Let me rephrase that. Not what she looks like. Her skin tone too. Erica was a light skin, light brown skin girl. and she was a trans woman who was in the ballroom scene, and she walked categories like sex siren and realness. So yeah, she had that whole, following, that whole people that. But what if she was a girl who walked big girl realness? Would they have cared?
Now, did Kelly say anything?
No, they wouldn't have cared. They wouldn't have cared because she's one of the ballroom legends, and she's one of the dolls. It didn't matter. Nobody would talk about why she was in jail, the stunts that she was pulling to get in there. Nobody cared about that. They wanted her out, just for her to get out of jail, just to do the same stunts. I'm not a girl that believes. I'm not a girl that believes, just because she's changed and just because she's my friend's sister, it's to overlook all of the negative shit that she does in the world. If you're guilty, you should go to jail. Period, point blank. And you should serve your time. Man, woman, trans, straight, gay, doesn't really matter.
Model, TV actor.
So what?
I said model, TV actor, TV dad. Yeah, I agree.
It doesn't matter. It does not matter. If you're guilty, you should be in prison and you should do your time. Period.
Wait a minute. Let's get the thing.
The first thing they said was, "She's so beautiful." So the question is, if you're not,
who's playing me?
Right. I think that's Ashley's in the background listening to it at the same time. You got to turn one of those off, Ashley.
That's not me.
I hear the echo.
That is not me playing it.
This is a mess.
Hello?
Yeah, who's playing it?
I have no idea, honey.
But I hear it. But anyway, it's just. Can you guys hear me better now?
Yes, much better.
That was not me playing myself.
Girl, because I've been over there, girl. You be having like 6 cameras on you at one time, honey. Interacting with all of them at one time. You know what you give over there, girl.
Control room.
Yeah, I'm trying to.
Right.
No, but what I was going to say is that when Erica, like I had, so everyone was fighting. Oh yeah, justice for Erica, and no shade. I don't know the woman, and I feel like her being mistreated in a jail is really, really. No one wants to hear that, but no one even updated the fact that she was out and she was released. Like, where was after all that? Listen. On my birthday, which was July 29th, and the 20th is my twin's birthday, we went to the ball, and she walked that ball, and all of the claims that her breasts were popped, this was her letters, that she felt like her boob was like, she was so disfigured. She was perfectly fine. She made an uproar because they wanted her out of jail so she could walk more balls and serve all the girls Coke and Tina. That's what that was all about. They needed a grand prize diva. That was what that was. When I saw her, I said, wait a minute. I thought, judging just from the last year ago, I thought you was disfigured. Your implants were broken. Your ass was half off, girl. Your face was destroyed.
Wait a minute.
So you want to go out into the world and commit crimes, and then you want us to feel bad for you? I don't feel bad for people who commit crimes. If you get caught, you go to jail. That's what it is. I fight every single day to do honest things in this world and to live an honest life. What about the girls that are not out there pussy stunting and pulling stunts and carrying on? What about the trans girls that are really truly just trying to live a decent, honest life? Why do we have to pay for the stunts that the rest of the girls are pulling?
Well, wait a minute. Let me jump in real quick. We don't know the
struggles.
Not even the struggles. We don't know the situation behind her legal situation. Why
we don't, but we know that the girls pull stunts. Crafty stunts. The girls are in these labels and have no jobs.
But let me finish.
All right, I'm listening.
I don't think it's fair to say they did this to get her out for the ball. So going back to the facts of her particular situation, they apparently the guards beat her so bad while she was in jail that allegedly it ruptured one of her breasts, or it did something to one of her breasts, and we could look and see something, but we don't. We're not the one that has to live with that, so we can't really say what somebody's condition is based off what they look like. And I don't think, and I think a lot of people weren't trying to free her per se. Like if you broke the law and you committed a crime and you were sentenced, I mean, do your time. But nobody deserves to be beaten and mistreated like that while they're doing their time. I think the goal of the campaign was to get her moved to a facility where she wouldn't have to endure that type of abuse. And Kelly was also incarcerated at that same facility prior to Erica being there, and she had an incident where she was cut, and they attacked her and they ended up cutting her. So that, and that Kelly is her mother. So I understand your passion, Asia, but like that was kind of shady.
Have you ever met, and I'm totally not sorry about it. Have you ever met Kelly before in person?
I've been around her. I've never met her one-on-one. I'm not saying that she's a nice person or whatever, but I can put that to the side to see what's right and what's wrong. And I just don't think it's fair to put that type of lens on the situation, because at the end of the day, we don't know why she was in jail, or we don't know what went on when those guards were attacking her. So I'm going
to say this. I learned this whole ever since this whole trans agenda and all this push for this whole trans movement, what I've learned is that I'm not uplifting people who don't uplift people. If you only uplift people in your close circle, I'm not uplifting you no more, because I don't fucking exist to you.
Right.
I don't matter. I'm not walking balls. You don't care about me.
All right,
exactly.
Yeah, you don't care about me.
And that's just what that is, Yeah, she trended. She didn't get her out of. Listen, I don't even know enough about it. And a big part of me doesn't even really, honestly, I want to say I don't even care. The point of this was supposed to be us talking about the dates on the apps, right?
Right. We were just
let's get around.
We were just narrowing down the situation. If you're a popular person, things work in your favor when it comes to the law. Or when you have that support, whether it's a mess. But so we're going to talk about our experiences as trans women on dating apps, and the fact that if you put your TS or trans, 9 times out of 10, you may get your account deleted. So who wants to start off with their experiences?
Okay, see, I've never, ever, ever in all the years of being like online dating, I've never put TS anything. I'll put in my profile that I'm trans, but the headline TS, I don't, because I've noticed that when you do stuff like that, it invites the creepiest of the creeps of people onto your page or in your inbox.
DMs, yeah. How big are you? Yeah, you get questions like that.
Right. You say TS this or TS that. The first message is a picture of the penis. But if that's what you're looking for, that's what you're looking for. But I mean, what about the girls who generally just want to date?
Or just get some dick. Yes.
Right. So
what are we talking about? Dick or we go for love? Like what? Because those are two different stories, two different experiences.
Yeah, well, a lot of girls use dating apps for different things. Some people would like to go on dates. Some people they're looking, to make friends or whatever. But I don't think it matters what you use the app for. The point is that a lot of trans women are being banned. Their IP address is being banned, and they're being deleted off of these apps that claim to be inclusive. I know that Tinder did a whole campaign when the whole trans Caitlyn Jenner movement was popping. They were like, "Yay, we now allow transgender as a gender role." Like, they basically made it seem like they are down for the cause, and then they're the main site that's really banning the girls. So, Brianna, did you want to elaborate about some of about the posts you put on Facebook?
Yeah. So this is something that I'm particularly interested, on a scholarly level that I want to write about, because I'm curious to see that if these acts repeated actions of deleting trans women for not like describing your, not for like when you have the option of like what gender you want to define, you choose like male or female, but for actually typing in your description that you are, in my case, I was a transsexual woman, and them telling me that language violates their terms and conditions. I'm curious to see or to research and find out whether that violates my constitutional protected First Amendment right to freedom of expression. And I guess I'll like start it off since I kind of popped the topic off. So I'm just at a point in my life, in my transition, especially on these dating sites, where I feel comfortable enough to be in these spaces and put my seat on the table, because I'm very Sagittarius, so I'm a just straight to the point type of person. I'm transsexual. I'm a transsexual woman. That's how I identify. And I typically find that for me, that you have, when you're dealing with men, especially men of color, you kind of have to be direct in your language. You kind of have to talk in a way that doesn't leave any gray area for them to act dumb and try it, just because it eliminates us wasting each other's time. I'm a transsexual woman. I prefer that you have already had some type of experience with a transsexual woman. If you like it, yay. If you don't, keep it moving. So I had an experience where over the summer, my account was permanently deleted from Tinder. And when I reached out to Tinder to ask a specific reason why it was deleted, they didn't give me a reason. And I've been deleted off of Badu twice. And like I say, me personally, I self-identify as a transsexual woman. And my particular theory is that one, a man will match with me, not just looking at my pictures, be into me, not read my profile, and then when they read my profile, they block it or report it and are shady. Or if I match with them and we're talking and we're going, and I'm not submitting to them or I'm not giving them the answers they want, then they go on the back end and report me for being trans as a way to be shady and a way to get me kicked off. And the reason I'm interested in this particular topic, because, as we're becoming more visible in society, as we're at a place where we're holding more regular jobs and occupying these public spaces, I find it interesting how even in the public space of like online dating and apps, how me self-defining myself, how this administrator can try to like restrict how I define myself and set up structures in order to punish me for me like defining and affirming myself. And personally, I think it's really messed up. I personally think it's illegal. And like, I would like to get enough girls together, because if and when I do the research, I would possibly like to do a class action lawsuit, because from what I've learned over the past couple of months, because I've just been putting the question out there, I'm not the only one that has gone through this experience. And basically, to get to the bottom line, I should be able to identify myself however I want in a public space and not face any type of repercussions because some piece that doesn't see it wants to feel it on my time. So basically, that's where I am with it. And I'm a transsexual woman, and I feel I don't think there's nothing wrong or dirty with that word. And I've noticed within community, a lot of that word is like debated in community because it's a lot of people that are uncomfortable with that word. But I'm very comfortable with describing myself as a non-operative transsexual woman. I feel like it gets straight to the point. It doesn't
right to the point.
And I don't have to sit and waste time, because whether I'm looking for a hookup or whether I'm looking for dating, I need to know at the gate that you are comfortable with all parts of my body, because what's not going to happen is that you come to my place where I pay the bills and where I'm running things, and you tell me, oh, I don't do this, or I'm not comfortable with this, or real women are not supposed to want this. Not in my house.
No.
So yeah, I'm just real comfortable with myself as a non transsexual woman, and I just feel like I shouldn't have to be censored, or I don't. And I didn't. There was a period of time where I would not put my T on my ex, but it just became annoying because I feel like it puts the onus on us, and then we have to disclose. And you know, the trade likes to play on our time. And then most of the trade that be on these X was the same pieces that was on Craigslist. So you know, so they know what's up. But yeah, that's what I have to say on that.
They're the same piece of trade on all the same they're on POF. They're on Badu, they're on Tag, they're on, I don't know if I tried Tinder or whatever else is out there. They're all on the same ones.
Oh, they're on Grind.
I've been on the apps and get the same messages, from the same people on different apps. Oh, I like these pictures of these newer pictures of you. Oh, I mean, okay. No, and as for my experience, there was moments that I didn't put that in front of it. Not that I was trying to be, trying to like hide who I was at all. Because the moment you message me is the moment I right away say, look, I'm transgendered. So you'll know who you're trying to get to know. Now, I have learned on POF, the men are a different. Well, back when it was first jumping, the men were a bit more like gentlemen. I don't know if that was y'all experience. My experience, the men on POF were more interested in taking me out versus who you live with.
Girl, in my opinion,
you girls are still there?
Yeah, I'm here. Ashley, you there?
Yeah, I wanted to ask Brianna, can we break down what non-op means for the girls?
Okay, so
or the boys.
So basically, how I see it and how I define it, and let me give credit who I got my interpretation of my language from. One of my mentors, Sydney Kimbrough, a trans woman from Baltimore. So okay, basically, transgender is the umbrella term. So transgender is a feeling. It's being born with one set of genitals, but mentally you feel like you're the opposite sex. And anybody can feel transgender. That's why it's a big umbrella. So you could feel transgender and then transition. You could feel transgender and be genderqueer. You could feel transgender and just not transition, or you could feel transition. You could detransition but still be a transgender person. Fine. To me, what separates the boys from the girls is transsexual. To me, transsexual is somebody that has taken the steps, whether medically or surgery, to physically alter their body or their appearance to present as the opposite sex. So for me, there are three types of transsexual people. You have your pre-op transsexual people, so transsexual people that are preparing or who desire to have gender confirmation surgery or sexual reassignment surgery. You have the post-op transsexual, who's a transsexual person that has gotten their gender confirmation or sexual reassignment surgery, or you have the people like myself, or I feel the category I fall in, and really what I feel like we don't talk about in the community, or some of us are scared to talk about, the non-ops, the people that have taken steps to physically alter their bodies. But as far as the gender confirmation surgery, they don't want it. They don't want it because for me, and I let me keep it on an eye, my gender dysphoria is at a low level, where I can look in the mirror, see my breasts and see my piece and see my body and just be naked. And I'm comfortable with that. I feel like that's how God made me. I like my body. I'm comfortable with my body. I like my body being pleased. If any man comes and wants to interact with me, that's the standard I set at the door. If you are not willing to follow that rules, I'll pay you, because it's always somebody next up in line. It just is what it is. And I feel like we don't talk about the non-ops in our community, or we try to shade the non-ops in our community, or if girls are tops in our community, or birds, like, you know, that's even taboo within our community. So to me, I feel like it's 3 types of trans. And also, there's some transsexual people that don't need any type of other surgeries other than gender confirmation, because some girls, maybe they just need moans to give their look, and that's all they need. And there's people walking around that don't need any moans, or medically, for physical or medical reasons, can't take moans, but when they go outside, they give that look. And they, you know, they exist. So that's how I see it.
Right. So I think if you're non-op, pre-op, post-op, please put it in the comments. We want to know who's tuning in. But I think all 4 of us girls are non-operative. So that's interesting.
To a degree.
Excuse me?
To a degree. Because I've had
non-operative meaning we're non-op, meaning we're not. Okay, so what she explained is that non-ops do not want the sex change.
Yeah, as far as the sex reassignment surgery.
Right, non-op when it comes to the sex change. Right. Yeah, like you can do other operations to feminize yourself, but being non-op is strictly not wanting the SRS.
Yeah, I understand, but sometimes when we use those operative words, I know a lot of girls get very sensitive about, saying, "Oh, well, I've had modification, so you can't really put me in that non-op category." So I just wanted to make sure that we are being inclusive to those girls as well. So as we are getting into this topic, I want to introduce a new segment on the podcast, and this segment is called Pull Up and Pop Off. So that means this is going to be a call-in number, and if you want to pull up and pop off about one of the topics that we're talking about today, whether it be the injustice Jiasia is getting and many other trans women are getting in America, or whether it is the fact that you are getting tired of having to make 5 and 6 and 7 fucking POF accounts because of the fact that as soon as you put "I'm a woman of trans experience," you get banned. Now I'm getting banned off of Grindr. How can you fucking make that up? How can you get fucking banned from a gay app? But anyway, the phone number for the Pull Up and Pop Off is 310-596-5663. Once again, I'm going to put it in the comments. 310-596-5663. We're going to, make it 60 seconds or less. Just pull up and pop off.
Right. Until you get a phone call, I'm just going to say this. I honestly, and I was saying this before, that I put a tweet out saying that I honestly feel that we have to hold the apps accountable for some of the trans deaths. Because if a girl's meeting a guy and she's not allowed to put in her profile that she is trans, and then she meets a man who does not know that she's trans.
Girl, that's nonsense. That's total nonsense. You can't blame those apps for it. You just can't.
Yeah.
These apps, you can't blame. Girl, well, no, because
I'm not allowed to say that.
All right, I'm
trans,
listening to this garbage.
And I have to wait, hold on. Who's playing in the background?
You know what? I think that is mine because I had turned.
Oh, girl, come on.
I know it's. No. That's
so. Let me say this. So if I'm not allowed to put that I am trans on my profile, girl, why am I echoing still?
That is not me.
Oh, somebody doesn't have headphones. Okay, so if I'm not allowed to say that I'm trans in the profile and I'm hoping to meet a man and tell him in person, and if he reacts violently to me, it's the app's problem. The app should be held accountable because you're not allowing me.
I see what you're trying to say. I see the argument that you're trying to make.
Oh no, I get what she's trying to say. It's still bullshit.
It's foolish because if you try to bring a claim for the causation piece to be met, it's not proxy. It's too remote. Like
that's bullshit. I mean, because you're still communicating with this person. You still can tell him up front that you're trans.
But there are so many girls that don't. There are girls that we know from our own show that waits till they meet men to tell them.
Because they want to play. Because they want to play with their lives.
That was on our show.
They want to play with their lives.
I'm not saying this is what I do. I'm saying that there are girls that wait until they meet guys.
Girls.
You have a call?
Yeah, we have a caller. Okay,
All
caller.
right.
All right, caller. Can you speak? Okay, are you all able to hear her?
No.
What about now? Can caller speak? Oh, you know what? I'm gonna use my boom text speaker. That is exactly what I'm going to do. All right. Speak.
Yeah, hi. I have quite a few things to ask you guys, but
can we hear her?
Is when you be like,
oh man,
the act, you know, that was the latest thing that you said that I kind of was just like on the fence. How could you blame the app? You know what I mean? It's impossible for you to say that it's the app's responsibility for the girls. You know, the girls got to scream. You can't just sit and fuck every day or take every day because he drive a nice car, he cute. You know, you got to be more picky.
Okay.
You're a commodity now.
All right, so that question is to Jaisha, you said? What is the question?
It's two others. I'm not sure which one of the girls blamed the app.
That's probably to Ashley.
Right. So what I was saying is that if these apps are not allowing trans women to openly say the word transsexual or trans in their profile,
or TS,
and you have girls that meeting a man is basically their top priority, whether they're doing sex work or whether they're lonely or whatever, and they plan on meeting this man in person to tell him because they cannot use that language on the app. I feel like the app does have a responsibility if the girl's being killed off the app.
Well,
it could have been prevented. Because he would have known. Okay,
but let me counter. But let me counter that. At the end of the day, hello.
I was gonna say the caller. What were you saying, caller?
I said it's the girl's responsibility to scream, period. But no matter what race you are.
But that word cannot be used on these apps. If you can't
in the private messages, yes, they can, Ashley.
Let me jump in here. I happen to agree with the caller.
You don't have to necessarily put on there and make it a spectacle because you're a trans. Or trans. I'm sorry.
I'm in agreement with the caller as well. At the end of the day, it's 2018. Like, I just think it's so. I don't like that argument. Oh, I really wanted him to get to know me for me.
But
that was 10 years ago. Bullshit.
Yeah, girls are doing that now.
But girls you don't live in that same time no more. Like, people know what's up. They know what trans is. They know. So
not everybody. There's girls that are getting surgeries done and they look so fish that they could pull it off. And they can let the guy know whenever they're wrong.
Girl, that's not the truth. A lot of these, hold on 1 second. The truth is a lot of these girls are getting these surgeries, and that's just what it is, a surgery. It doesn't add any more to your look or any less to your look. It's just a surgery. So the argument too.
Trans. You're still trans. It doesn't.
Right, but the Ashley's argument is just ridiculous. It's ridiculous. So because they don't allow you to put that you're a trans in your profile, that means it's their fault that we're getting killed and beaten and bashed or whatever. No, it's your job as a trans woman to put that out there, if they know or not.
Yeah,
and if I could be honest, if I could be honest in my own situation. When I let men know that I'm trans, a good like 95% be like, oh no, I knew that already. You're beautiful. So, all right, no, I knew that you knew that because I wear it proud. I just need to open up this dialogue so that we're on the same page and there won't be no shit.
Right. I understand what you're saying. I'm not saying that I do this. I'm saying that I know a lot of girls that wait until they meet men to tell them that they're trans, which I think is dangerous. But the girls are doing it.
It speaks to their own internalized transphobia. So what? If you tell him you're trans up front and he walks away, then baby, that wasn't the card that was meant for you to play. But because girls hate themselves so much, because girls are willing to play in these games and really mess up their own self-esteem, because somebody can only do what you let them do. But once you get to a point in your transition, whether you post-op, pre-op, non-op, where you still saying, I don't give a fuck. If you don't fuck with me from the gate, then you just don't fuck with me. Then a lot of times you can avoid these situations. And let me just jump off. I know we're not talking about this tonight, but it's no shade. I feel like a lot of times the reason that these young girls are getting murdered, one, because they're not connected with older girls that have been in the game and that, that knows how you can be so insecure when you first come out. And get into these situations with these pieces of tray who don't even know themselves at all, don't got a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. And because you're dealing with this internalized transphobia and feeling like you're not woman enough and feeling like if you entertain this man or waiting for this man to save you, that's never going to come and save you. I feel like the younger girls get themselves or put themselves in predicaments. Not saying that they're to be blamed for their murders, because no, there's no excuse to murder a trans woman. But our internalized transphobia plays a part to why we put ourselves in these situations. And it's unfortunate that some of us don't, grow up and mature and evolve and to flourish. Because a lot of the shit I did when I was a young trans woman, a lot of shit I used to put up with, now as I approach 30, it's like this thing, I don't have time for that.
I wanna point out a comment call out. Addie said, what about instead of blaming the girls, let's blame the men? Like, it doesn't cost anything to walk away or block them, not be violent.
Right. Yeah, that part too.
Yeah, that part too. But if you're talking, let's be for real. If you're talking to a guy and you're on private message and you tell him your tea, and every girl has been in that situation where the guy takes a day to respond, it takes a couple of hours to respond, when just before you knew your tea, you was responding like in seconds. Sometimes the ball is in our court to end the situation. Sometimes the ball is in our court to not let him come to our house at 12 o'clock at night or call our phones all hours of the night when we never even gave them permission to call us. We only gave them permission to text us. Sometimes the ball is in our court, but because we're dealing with our insecurity because we're dealing with insecurity like cis women deal with insecurity and they get into their situations, we wait for them to make the decision, and then that's when we end up gagging. But then when you grow up and when you come out of shit, you see certain stuff. You know what? I can just smell that this is not a good situation for me, or I can smell that you as a person, you're not even on my level to even be in my face or share my energy, or you don't have shit going for you. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to walk away. I'm going to cut this off before this could even get crazy. Have a nice life. But you have to go through life. You have to go through stuff. So. That's what I think.
And it's also about it's also I would also say this is one thing I want to point out too. Oh, also people, if you're just joining us, you're invited to call in our new segment called Pull Up and Pop Off. Pull Up and Pop Off. Once again, the phone number is 310-596-5663. On the topic that we're talking about now, or one of the previous topics that we had talked about. But one of the things I wanted to say, Jaisha had mentioned earlier on that if you're in private message with the guy, then you can reveal to him it then. Well, not necessarily, because in the private messages, you're still not safe. They can still report you in the private messages. They can report you for prostitution.
Right, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that basically, so the private girl is not allowed to use the word trans or TS
I've been.
That's not my experience. None of that's my experience.
Well, but people are experienced. But these are experiences, though. We have to. We're talking about what's going on all over. There are girls who, when they put, let's say a girl created a new page, she puts TS Gummy Bear. Her account's deleted. She makes a new page. Esmeralda. Okay, now her account is staying. So now she feels I can't mention I'm TS because I'm going to get banned. So.
And it's teaching girls that, TS is bad. I get deleted. I get called out.
I can't use that. I can't say I'm a TS. I can't say I'm trans.
The behavior.
But I really want to meet this guy. I'll tell him in person.
Exactly.
So if something bad happens to me, I couldn't use that I was a TS on the app. The app has blood on its hands.
Yes.
I think this argument is terrible. I think the whole argument is terrible. I think the whole argument is terrible. It is your duty. It is your duty. It is your duty to put that out there.
But you can't. You cannot. They will delete you.
Why can't you?
They will delete your page if you say that you're trans or TS. It's
you block him before he blocks you, Miss Thing.
Listen. Can I say this?
If it's a guy you're trying to meet.
What you guys need to understand is that these apps are not made for the girls.
True. I agree with that.
They're catered for the cis men.
Men. I've seen men on there with cockpits. I've seen men on there blatantly talk about in the description box about how they like to eat pussy, how they like to do this. Bitch, I didn't been blocked from the time I've been had my account blocked, deleted from the time I lived in West New York, New Jersey to Brooklyn to two places here in LA. Why come this nigga got the same account where he's talking about eating pussy out? Same account that he's had since 2016.
Well, this goes to my point why I even want to engage in this type of research, because I feel these acts are a microcosm of real life. And when we're out here dating in person, you just can't. And this is a conversation I have with cis men. You can put all on your page all you want. Oh, no, only real women or no trans women.
And a lot of guys don't even read.
But real life does not work like that. You can't just assume that you're never going to meet a trans person. And if these are the type of attitudes that people have on these apps, then no wonder why we're getting killed. No wonder why we can't get hired when we're interviewing for a guy and he can tell our T and denying us jobs. No wonder why we're getting kicked out of houses. It's not to try to silence us and to try to act like you're promoting acceptance when you're really trying to uphold the status quo. That's unrealistic, and that's not how life works. And that's why I really want us to push back, and I would love to see like some type of class action lawsuit, because the truth of the matter is, for those of a trans woman that identify as heterosexual, we are a part of the dating pool. We are going to exist. You are going to come across us, and you're going to have to deal with it. And just trying to block us or remove us from the public sphere, that's not going to make us go away.
Oh no!
Can I just share? Can I just share my dating experience on the same apps that you girls are on? At the same time, we've all been on the same. This is just how we meet. Excuse me.
Not trans, right?
Huh?
The apps that you say that you're not trans on, correct?
No, it doesn't. What I'm trying to say is this.
But you said
no. POF. I thought I at first didn't, and then I thought it was easier to just put it on there, and they never deleted the account. My point is, all of these apps. I'm a trans girl. I've never been a cisgendered woman in my life, and I've been dating the same way that you guys have been dating. I've met guys the same way you guys, other than Craigslist. I've met all these other apps. I've met the same way. And when I say that I'm trans, I don't know if I get reported or not, but they've never taken down my profile. So the argument of if even in the private messages that you say that you're trans, you can get blocked or deleted, so you can't say that, and you got to say it to them when you guys meet. Okay, so more importantly, what about when you exchange numbers? If you can't say it on the app, then do you exchange numbers and you go through text and you start texting them or calling them, be like, look, I am trans. I wasn't able to tell you on the app, but I can tell you right now.
All right, let me have something to go against what you're saying. How many dudes do we know don't have phones and that they talk to you and they don't have a plan and they're talking to you on Wi-Fi?
Those people I don't speak to. Those people I don't speak to, because if you don't have a phone,
but some of the girls do.
I can only speak out of my experience.
Our standards as a community. You should not be talking to nobody.
If you ain't got a phone, you don't need to be in my pussy. If you don't have a phone, you don't need to be in my pussy.
I thank you.
These parts over here, you don't have the luxury of being picky like that, honey.
I know. Well,
let me tell you. Let me say this.
We are fortunate. We are very fortunate.
Girl, I just think this is a bunch of. I think this is a bunch of terrible excuses to deal with. This is. Let me say this.
This is you and your transgender privilege. That's what it is. Because you need to understand something.
What transgender privilege, Fox? Don't do that to me, bitch. Don't do that to me. What privilege, bitch? What privilege, bitch?
You live in Bronx, New York, where there's tons of men that love the fact that you're transgender. Okay.
And I don't deal with these fucking men. I don't deal with these men, Fox.
Okay, you don't have to.
I don't deal with the local trade, Fox. Because you want to know why, Fox? Because when I look at your live, Fox, and I look at the trash that you sleep with, I don't want to be that girl. I don't want to have to fight motherfuckers every single. Let me speak this. I don't want to have to fight motherfuckers every day. I don't have to worry about you robbing me and trying to fucking kill me. Let me tell you. Let me say this because I'm getting really passionate. Let me tell you when I had to stop messing with the trade. Right. About 3 or 4 years ago. Let's go about 4 years ago. Right. I invited this young man over. I think from Tag. We had been talking on and off for about like a year or so. Right. You girls can hear me.
Yes.
Loud and clear.
Okay, so the boy comes over, cute boy, cute piece, meat. I mean, the half was just beautiful. Y'all know where this is going. The half was stunning. It was everything. I mean, I don't even let men sleep in my apartment because I can't watch you with both my eyes closed, so you gotta leave. We laid up and I was feeling in my feline glory. Okay, so the next morning, we woken up. He had jumped up to the bathroom. I noticed he was taking a minute to come back. So I got out of my bed and I stopped down in the hallway. All of you girls have been to my apartment, right? So you know the bedroom is near the bathroom. So I stopped and I tinkled real quick. As I'm coming up my hallway, he's coming down the hallway. 2 seconds, he done got dressed. Rushing out I gotta go to this appointment. And I said, okay, cool. I had noticed, because when I first moved here, there was a lot of things that I didn't unpack. And then to hide my purse in there. So when I came down, the first thing I noticed was my purse looking at me. Now I know he's been in there because I hid it and I would have never just left it open like that. So as he's trying to make his way out the door, I grabbed my wallet. Everything's gone. And this was in the hype of me separating from my ex-husband. I didn't have no money. So the money that he swiped out of my purse was it. That was it. Without that money, I wasn't even going to be able to eat yet. Eat. And I wasn't cooking at the time. So I in that moment, Fox, I told you this story. You remember when the trade tried to rob me and I was standing in the hallway half naked trying to fight him to get my money back, and he had no other choice but to give it back. He called the police and told them that I was holding him in the hallway hostage because I wanted my money back. I can call, my pride was too high to call my family and say I was fucking some random piece of garbage, from the streets of the Bronx or something like that. And he robbed me and I don't have any money to eat. The police, when he gave me my money, the police showed up banging on the door, being ignorant, searching through my apartment because they thought that I had somebody here hostage. So in that moment was like, okay, I am tired of dealing with garbage. I'm tired of feeling like I have to deal with trash because I don't have to deal with garbage. I don't have to deal with a motherfucker that's going to continue to fuck me real good and then rob me at the next minute or beat me up or try to kill me. So then I had to change my own standards of dating. If you can't take me on a date, then we don't go any further. I have enough in my little black book, enough fuck boys that I trust enough that I can call over here and bang me out when I need it. or have their way with my body. But these new boys and the new way of treating trans girls, it's not right, it's not fair, and we're being stupid to allow these boys to treat us like trash like this. So no, I don't have any more sympathy because I know that there's a different way because I've started to live a different way. It's about your personal standards. Period, point blank. Trans or female or cisgender, it's about your standards. So don't yell at me, Fox, about living in my trans privilege. What trans privilege, bitch? I live in the South Bronx.
That's transgender privilege, honey. You know
how? How?
You know how the gender ratio works in your favor? You know how the gender ratio works in your favor? First of all, over here where I live at, the gender ratio does not work in my favor. There's 100,000 more women than men. So guess what that means? That's just women outnumbering men. So that means that, guess what? That means men can treat me disposable. That means that good dick that likes to dick me down and has a job that actually, that's actually worth something. Oh, I have to take a number to get to him.
I don't feel bad. That's what you decide to choose. That's what you're accepting to be treated like. And that's not about privilege or no trans privilege.
Like, you're accepted to be treated like how you're being treated by the law. So you're accepting that too.
No, girl, these are two different subjects, Fox. These are two different subjects, Fox.
You're accepting
No, I'm not accepting it. Girl, we're talking about trade. Stick on that, Fox. We're talking about trade and dating. Stick on that.
It's all
because one thing has nothing to do with the other.
Right. So what you're trying to say, Fox, is that the fact that you live in a place where you don't come across a lot of men, you're saying that you have to settle for the low down.
Yes.
So you're saying that you. Yes. So you're settling for the boys with no.
It's fucking hard having to deal with shit and having to go on Grindr and BGC.
Can we please move to the next topic?
It's fucking hard to get a man that shows up in my house that looks nothing like his fucking pictures.
Okay.
So what we know is that what I was trying to say is
it's a luxury. Not everybody has that. Sometimes it's having trade and hitting a bomb. And no, I'm not having a Kanye West moment.
Okay. Girl, I'm just like blown out. Like, I mean, bitch, you lived here. So I can't argue the fact that there are less men where you are, excuse me. Like, I can't argue the fact that there's less men out there. However, I stand firm in how I feel about just not men, but the world and people in the world, how they're gonna treat me. Because it's simple. If you're not gonna treat me the way I want you to treat me, then we don't have to have any dealings with each other. Why, bitch? Because I got lube and porn, and I have a fake dick in my closet. I don't have to deal with garbage, and I'm done dealing with trash. I remember having a piece of trade steal my car, a piece of trade that I knew, that I grew up with. He knew me. He was a friend of my brother's. I know where his mama live, his grandmama live. They come to barbecues at my mama's house. I'm tired of just for a night of passion have to deal with a whole bunch of garbage. I'm not doing it anymore. And it has nothing to do with privilege. This is about standards. And it's about the standards I've set for myself. So if it leads me down a path of a lonely life, I choose that.
Okay.
I choose that over allowing a motherfucking man to treat me like dirt just for a fucking nut. I'll have no parts of it. I'll have no parts of it. And I won't have any parts of it for the rest of my life.
And another thing, let me add to that. I feel like the girls, when they get around pieces, stop telling all your business to these men. Like I said before, a lot of these men,
how much money you have.
They don't have a pot to piss in or whatever.
A pot to piss in.
So when you are a girl that is doing for yourself and you have your own apartment and you invite them in, and like you had to test these niggas and pay attention to them. Like now they come in and they scoping and they try and figure out how to get
all your shit out. Everything you work for.
No, sometimes you get to a certain point in life where you can just look at a nigga and you can be like, you know what? We gonna have fun and you got to get the fuck out. My rule is you cannot spend the night over my house. You cannot say, I don't care how good the dick is. You cannot
Yeah.
spend the night over my house.
Yeah. You
You
can tell from before they even get there. You say something like, "Oh," you can say something like, "Oh shit, oh my god, I forgot to go get toilet paper. Can you? If the scotch at the bodega costs $1, can you get that for me and I'll give you the $1 when you get back up here? Oh my, I don't even have cash on me. All right. So now you broke. Now you traveling dead broke. Now I can't even trust you to come in here because why don't you have $1 on you?"
Yeah. Child, I had this piece that he ain't even have enough money to buy a condom. I was like, you know what? I'm just turned off. Don't even come. Like, you buy a condom, nigga.
Right.
You don't even have a credit card to pay for your own Uber. Like, ew.
But you know what? Also, too, it comes down to the experience of men. I remember a few years ago, I met a certain type of man, or different type of man that wanted to teach me something different. You know what I mean? I met a gentleman that told me years ago. He said, "I'm gonna show you how a man should treat a woman like you." And it was with class and integrity, and it was with dignity. So yes, I am worth. Doesn't matter if I'm clockable or not. I am worth of you taking me out to a 5-star restaurant and getting to know me. I'm worth you taking me out and showing me off. This is not about being trans. This is just about who you are as a woman.
Right, and a lot of girls should get to that point. A lot of girls
this is what this comes because I know how to take my own motherfucking self out. Hello? If I feel like seeing a Broadway musical for the afternoon, bitch, I can take myself there and buy my own fucking ticket. I can sit over in the corner. Yes, you can admire me. Look, I'm just buying myself a drink if that's what I feel like doing. This is about standards. We need different standards in our community and ourselves. What we're excited about is the local trade who only can leave us with what, a wet booty hole and steal all our shit, or not. They're not even just stealing anymore, bitch. They're killing us. And so excuse me if I'm not sympathetic towards these apps or sympathetic towards the back page or whatever it is that's out there, because all of a sudden now it's a trend for you to kill trans women. So no, I'm decreasing my chances of getting murdered by some random piece of loser. I'm decreasing my chances. Why? Because my I don't know what God's plan is for me, but my plan is I want to die old. So excuse me if I don't want to support the idea of inviting some total stranger into my apartment every single night. Excuse me if I want a piece of even just a quality piece of dick. Someone is going to bring something. Someone is going to bring more to the table than just a nut. For me, I'm not looking for you to be my boyfriend, but I'm still looking for an experience. I'm fulfilling my fantasy, and you came over here to fulfill yours. So to fulfill your fantasy, you have to fulfill mine.
And going back to what Brianna said about a lot of the younger trans women who are being killed. You know, they are not at that point where they see their self-worth. They're just starting transitioning, and they're needing the low life piece of trade to make them feel real, to make them feel fish, and
being killed.
Being killed by the same trade that they're asking, you know, am I real? I always tell girls, stop asking the trade and the boys if you're real. That's something that you need to know. Don't give them that much power.
Let me tell you something, and I may get cursed out by Fox on this one too, and I really don't care, and I don't care who else is listening. I'm gonna get cursed out. You have these girls that since the insurance started paying for surgery, you have these girls that are not even taking hormones. They're not even transitioning properly. Microwave girls, like you call them. So these girls, like when I was on a set of Pose, right? The only thing I saw was there was 2 different type of trans girls there, right? There were the few of the legendary girls that has been around for 20, 30 years. They've already got their look in order, right? And then there was a bunch of girls that titties, they had just brand new titties. One sitting over to the left, one sitting far over to the right with both my handprints could fit in between. And y'all know I got big hands. Y'all know that's not a secret. I can fit both my hands in between this, which means you didn't give your body enough chance to even take the hormones. You just went and got the surgery. So people are skipping the hormone process. It is not about the physical part of the hormones. The hormones work on your mental. It works on your emotions. It changes everything. So when you skip that process, these are just young little boys, that think that it's over, bitch, so they can get the piece of trade.
Right.
Well,
the boys that can walk through the door without saying, hi, how was your day? Did you need anything? Are you hungry? But they could just walk through the door, pull their dick out, honey, and just start servicing and don't even say thank you when they're finished. Bang you out, slut you out real good, real quick, and walk out the door and they probably never see you again if they don't kill you.
Or have your girlfriend.
If they don't kill you. Because now after this nut, they got to think about what Jesus think about them. And what the black community thinks about them and what society says about them, than now that they're gay men. Because they just fucked another man in their ass. These are the thoughts that they go through after that. So excuse me if I don't want to mess around with some little boy. This is why I date a bit older. I meet good-looking men all the time. Oh my, I never had this experience before. But let me tell you something, baby. There's a lot of transsexuals in the world. And I need you to go find you one and go get experience and maybe call me in a couple of years. Because I'm not about to go through the ups and downs of your mental breakdown for what you just did and play on my insecurities. I'm not going to do that. So I'm only sharing my body with someone who knows how to appreciate it properly, who knows how to treat me like a lady.
Right. I want to ask Brianna about what do you feel about this whole trans panic attack? The fact that people some of the men who have been charged with murdering trans women, they've used the trans panic defense, that they panicked after they found out that the girl was trans. So that's why they killed them.
Yeah, they found out after he busted the nut. You should know the difference between a penis and a vagina. They always know. You can't be fooled. Most trans girls are not even that. The trans girls are not even. I'm sorry. I know you asked Bree this, but the most trans girls are not even. The girls don't even look like women anymore. The girls are sitting transsexuals. You know that's the truth. Go back 20 years ago. Go back 20 years ago. It was about the blending. It was about the realness. It was about the fitting in. The girls are not fitting anymore. The girls don't give a fuck about that. This is about looking like a fitting, lovely trans girl. And then if you're in the ballroom scene, it's about looking like an over femme queen.
Not a science project.
So I don't want to hear this excuse from anyone that he didn't know. Bitch, you knew. You knew, your mama knew, and the niggas on the block knew.
Well, I think the defense is late, but the reality is that this defense is still, with the exception, I think I can only say for certain that it's banned in California, but the reality is that this is a real defense in that should this situation happen, guys that go out here and do this can rely on this defense. So again, it speaks back to my earlier point of trans people being in the legal profession, actually being advocates as a lawyer, and really doing what we need to do so one day we can live in a world where this defense is banned in all 50 states. I know that's something that I would like to see in my lifetime. That's something that I would like to be a part of. But it speaks to the patriarchy in our world that your manhood is attacked if this situation happens. But to me, it challenges me to reclaim my power as a Black trans woman and to be very mindful and very intentional of when a nigga comes to my house. We both are on the same page about why you here and why, if we don't have a relationship where I know you and you really know me, that you have to leave after you finish. Or I'm very clear with how I speak to you, so there's no gray area. So we don't even have to worry about that. Or I'm screening you and asking you questions. Have you been with a trans woman? Because I've been in situations where they'll lie, but then you'll get in and see them in person, and they shaking and they sweating and it's all nervous. And I'm the type of person is, if you get nervous, if you're getting all of that before the session, Miss Thing, one, I'm turned off because clearly you're uncomfortable with me. Two, you could hurt me. And three, you need to get the fuck out. Because if you feel that type of way, you don't need to do it. You don't need to do it.
And this is why I enjoy you taking me out to dinner so we can discuss all this. So tonight may not be the good night. However, I can leave and I can go home and you can go your way. I got tired of having these discussions face to face with men that inside my apartment. This is uncomfortable. How do I ask you to leave? Now you feel rejected. How do I ask you to leave and not get killed or beat up? No, let's do this in public.
You pull out your gun.
Yeah. What?
You pull out your gun that you registered for, Miss Thing.
My what? I don't know what you're talking about, girl. I don't know what you're talking about, girl. All I can say is that there was a certain video of Fox and the girl showed up at her house, bitch, and she served that girl so good. It inspired me. Okay? It blessed my life.
Yeah, but you got to get comfortable with yourself, and you have to set a standard, whether it's you wanting to take dates or even if you want to hook up.
Did Fox leave?
No, I'm here. And I agree. That is something that I am that is something I don't have. You know, the confidence and everything. Yes, that needs to be available because, I mean, how can I, just as the words of the famous RuPaul, how can I love someone or want something that I don't even have for myself? So I do understand that. And the LGBT's first lady, Nicole Bowles, she said it herself. She said, you know, men will only do what you allow them to get away with. And I take the blame for that half of the time. I want to do a comment shout out. Basically, Extra Besta said, can we talk about how all the murders are Black men? Yes, the news always make it seem like the girls fool the boy, and we sit up and wait for the pic of the flash based on the narrative that he didn't know. And then we see the pic of the girl and gag. The world will always shame and blame the trans woman. That's what Extra Besta said in the comment.
You know what I want when the guys that do get picked up for murdering these girls, the very few that they do forensic swabs or on the inside of their mouths and in their cheeks, so they can detect for the girl's semen in their mouths, so we can finally put to the rest that the guy didn't know that she was trans, honey, because most of them be munching and swallowing and catching all types of things. So Miss Thing, you knew. In this evidence.
Oh, we got a call.
This evidence shows that you knew. Now twirl on that.
Caller. Hold on 1 second. All right. Caller, you're on the air. What'd she say? Do you have your volume up?
A pussy stick kit. That's what they need to call.
Hold on 1 second. I'm just trying to speaker. Okay. Just trying to rearrange and get this call center set up here. Okay. All right. Caller, you on the line.
Hi, how are you? What are we talking about?
Hey, what's your name and where you're from?
Wait, what was that?
We're asking, what is your name, and do you have a question? Do you have something that you want to pull up and pop off about?
Yeah, my name is Cindy. I was listening earlier, especially when you guys were talking about like the apps and stuff like that, and being on the app. And I definitely experienced like same things. Like with there's one of the echo, by the way, so I sound weird. Don't mind it. But yeah, like they'll just approach you sexually. I do put on there like a PS. Like, so they know, like, you know, as soon as they message me. But if anything, I feel like that's how you kind of get away from, like, the creeps or the weirdos, you know, because they know, like, right away, you know, what's going on.
What apps are you on?
Right up front.
What app are you on where you put it out there?
I'm on Tattoo, Plenty of Fish, Okay Cupid, Tinder.
Has any of those apps been what you would consider to be transphobic, or have you had your account ever deleted from what you believe may have been because of the fact that you put your trans identity out?
I did on Plenty of Fish.
POF, another
what
girl.
happened was basically like exactly what you said earlier. Like people kept blocking me or whatever, like when they found out I was trans. And after a while, it was just like, all right, you've been blocked 2 months, blah, blah, blah. Like you can have a, you know, like a page here. So they definitely.
Whoa, they actually sent you a message saying you can't have a page because of.
Well, yeah, it was something along that line. Like you can't. I don't know. They were basically saying like I was trans for me, like for the website.
Okay. Yeah, I've had very, very, very few girls that have put out there on their page that they're trans and they still keep their account. So, you know, not saying that Jai is lying. You know, she's just one of the fortunate girls. And, you know, I would love to be one of those fortunate girls too. But then, yeah, thank you so much, caller, for calling in.
Yeah, no problem. Gotta keep listening, guys. Bye.
All right.
Well, let me just say this too. I feel like a lot of
310 5663. Pull up and pop off. All right.
All right. So what I noticed is that when you don't respond to a guy, he could report you. I've had guys that message me and they say, "Hey," and then I'm like, I just don't even write back. You're not my type. It's like they want to know why you don't respond. And I've had guys that like say, "Well, you can at least say I'm not your type." I don't owe you that. I don't know you.
Get the fuck out my damn face.
Why do I need to tell you you're not my type?
We got another caller. Hold on. All right, caller. Hold on. Let me put you on speakerphone. Okay.
Get it together.
Caller. Hi there. What'd she say?
It's too low.
Okay.
I said hi.
Yes. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Vanessa, and I'm calling from Louisiana, Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Okay. Are you trans, cisgender?
I'm trans.
Okay. And what you want to pull up and pop off about?
I just want to talk about like these trades, like, and inviting them to our home. For me, I feel like to just have them at a hotel versus actually allowing them to come to my home.
What do you girls feel about that?
What you saying?
Can you repeat what you just said?
Yeah, I was saying that I feel like girls should bring them to hotels or motels and not invite them to your home because they could come back over and break in or, you know, whatever.
But you girls,
I think that's a safe thing to do. But also too, the girls are being found dead in the hotel rooms.
Exactly. So I don't feel that necessarily makes it safer. But if that's what a girl wants to do, like do that. But I don't. Me personally, I don't feel like that's necessarily safer. In fact, I feel like if he wanted to do something, that would make it even easier for him to do.
Yeah.
Right. The bottom line is this: we need to start going into, even if we just want you as a fuck boy, we just need to start getting to habits saying, "Take me out on a date." And if he can't do that, you need to find another type of dude. Because now this man doesn't want to be seen in public with you. He doesn't want the world to know anything. And if he can't do that, he's not the gentleman that you really, really need in life.
Thank you, caller.
Or at least have him bring some pork chops or something to the house. Shit.
Shut
Right,
up,
and a lot of these hotels,
some fish tacos, honey.
a lot of these motels don't have surveillance cameras. That's
a lot
another
of them
thing.
afford a hotel. Let's get into the real tea.
I
think having a buddy system too. I know it sounds lame, but I mean, if you're gonna go on a date with a guy, how about like, okay, I'm going out on a date. Jai-Asia, if you don't hear from me by this certain time, this is the guy that I'm with, this is his phone number, and this is what he looks like.
Oh, I do that with my friends any and every time that I'm going on a date. Look, here's a picture of him. Here's his phone. I have my friend one of my best friends, Ruben and Danny, I'll just, if I get, I just randomly start doing that. Here's a picture. Here's his phone number. This is where we're meeting. In fact, here's 10 pictures. Here's 10 pictures of him.
You want them to be held accountable.
That's right. If something goes down, you don't have to look for someone who this is him. This is his name. This is his phone number. This is and if the phone number don't work after tonight, this is what he looks like. My biggest fear, y'all know, and I travel often. My biggest fear, like when I went to LA, I didn't meet anyone. Why? Because I was like, I don't want to be found dead in this random place. When I went to Texas, like I'm due to go to Texas to that event, where I go and put on those beautiful gowns. And I'm just thinking like, no, I don't want to be found dead in a hotel and then have to be put the reputation of me being a hooker. And that's not what I'm there to do.
All right, caller, what is your name and where are you calling from?
Yes, I got it. It's extra. I just wanted to know, what is that? Can we talk about the black guys being like the real predators of the situation when it comes to killing the train? When you hear a black man, it all goes back to screaming, and being careful about the person you let into your company, whether it's a hotel or a house.
She's talking about the black men being the real predators and being the real terrorists of the trans women that are being killed. Because all of the
the girls give them so much leeway.
The girls give them so much leeway. So she's basically saying we should be calling out the black man.
Yeah, of course. It's the black man that's killing us, honey. What do you mean? We can't call them out. We can call them out, but that still is not going to stop them. Because they're not coming up. We can't bring them to justice when we're dead. And the only thing our community is doing is just a hashtag justice for her.
You have to scream him harder than you would the Middle Eastern.
Yes. Take them out on dates. Get them a cocktail, honey. Make them feel comfortable. And when they get comfortable, honey, they're gonna let you know who they are.
Him. I want to know that he's a good person to be in my company. His energy should be allowed around me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going on a date with him. Girl, he could take me out on a date and take me to the middle of nowhere and kill me just as easily as he could in that hotel.
True tea.
It's no shade. I had talked to do they fucking good, honey, before we.
All right. Thank you so much. And the callers are bringing in some really valid points here. This is very.
I want to say this real quick. Let's not forget that there are men out there that are smooth charmers that will go on a few dates with you, even give you money and still rob you the third or fourth time they see you. So there are situations where girls they slowly open up to a guy and they take precautions and they still get turned. So, because I know plenty of girls that they take the guy on the road with them, they're escorting, and I always tell the girls, do not bring no boy with you while you're escorting, sitting in the room, waiting for you. He's in the closet while you're turning $100, $1,000 tricks. All he's doing is counting your coin, waiting for you to reach a certain amount so he can run off with it. And it happened. A girl said, "Oh, girl, I've been
baby mama." With his baby.
Yeah, give the coin to his baby mother to take care of his family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot of girls. Brianna, you were talking about how the girls they tell the trade so much. Don't tell the trade that you're saving up for your surge. You don't ever tell these boys you got money. You're supposed to lay low.
There's a
lay low with your coin.
Missing right now.
No shade. I don't even tell pieces that I'm in law school because when I say that, I've noticed that you know niggas are simple minded.
Girl, you're not gonna get the good trade. Then you're gonna get.
They think you in law school, so they think you a millionaire or you have this money, which is the farthest from the truth. But again, when you're dealing with somebody that has never had shit and will probably never have shit, they think you have money, and then
honestly,
where they're trying to get you.
Honestly, Brianna, even being in that spectrum of working with law, you're going to probably start noticing that a lot of the men, you know, the hood niggas will probably start isolating you because they may think that, oh, you studying to be in the law, you working with the feds, you know, or whatever, especially if they're doing something illegal. So,
you know, the question that they ask me all the time is, oh, well, if I get into trouble, you can be representing me. Well, first of all, I have no intentions on practicing criminal law. That's not, you know, my specialty. And two, if that's the type of conversation you had now, then I have no business getting to know you any further. If your first thing is you're going to need some type of criminal legal representation, that the thug and the trade that stopped being appealing to me.
Yeah, well, you need to let them know this is not going to be a real life episode of Power, honey. No. You know that they need to come up with the coin, even if you were like a lawyer that were practicing criminal law, because I think a lot of times that goes back to your self-worth and everything. Because I've noticed, like, you know, a lot of men, they want. It's okay. One of the things that I'm starting to realize as I've gotten older and things of that nature is that men want the absolute. They want the absolute most of the benefits, but they want to supply the absolute least. You know, meaning. As I'm getting older and I'm starting to get better self-worth, self-confidence for myself, then I'm starting to notice, like, okay, if we're going someplace, if we're going to meet someplace, then it should not be me putting in all the effort. You know, I'm having to pay for the dinner. I'm having to pay for the movies. You know, I'm having to make time to fit around your schedule, and all you're doing.
Wait, but you allow that though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm allowing this, but then I'm starting to realize that I'm the one that's putting in all the effort, and all he's doing is just showing.
When is enough enough? I feel like you should have reached that breaking point where enough was enough.
When was enough enough? What are you saying?
I'm saying that I just don't understand how you're still dealing with this. Like,
because I don't love myself enough. I've never loved myself enough. Yes. You know, I haven't had examples of people that love themselves. You know, my trans mother abandoned me at 19 years old. You know, I'm a single kid. And yes, you are a single kid too, Ashley.
Yeah, I was raised as the only child until I was 14. And I think I don't think that's an excuse, being an only child.
Yeah, well, it's not an excuse. But it does give it gives some insight onto how this started.
So if all you guys yourself, then you should love yourself.
How do you love yourself? I mean, does that mean putting a pipe to my mouth? I mean, and then feeling great about myself? I mean, hey, that could be someone's interpretation of loving themselves. And we've had this conversation before. People, you people need to stop being so careless. Oh, love yourself. Oh, you should have more confidence about yourself. How do you do that when you don't know how to do that? Yes, it's sad when a person doesn't know how to do that, but how do you do that? How do you do that when you've had nothing but girls around you growing up and saying, oh, you're a black girl, you need to get pumped? Because that don't look good for you to be a black girl and not have no body. You're gonna be like a boy. You know, so I'm gonna go get pumped. I guess that is a way of me loving myself. You know, when you don't have good examples of how to love yourself, how do you love yourself? Awkward silence. Cricket.
No, there's not an awkward silence. There's so much that could be said here. So much to be said here. And I'm gonna say this because I don't want to come out as judging, but I'm judging. Fox, I'm gonna say this, and I've been wanting to say this for the longest. You know, to you in particular. You this is not what you've done for. I can't speak for us as people. I only can speak for myself. You're a girl that I've looked up to for so long. You're a girl who I admired your strength and your vision and the things that you've been able to do for our community. The platform you created for us, it was something special. It was something beautiful. And if I can just be all the way honest with you, sister, to see your life or to see what you put out into the world so publicly and see you go through your trials and your tribulations daily. And that could be a lot dealing with, your drug use, And I don't know, I can't act like I understand what that life is because I don't come from a place of addiction. And that's
self-love. Because a person that loves themselves when they're putting substances in their body, that's going to ultimately kill them. Which, unfortunately for me, has not happened yet.
But what I'm trying to say is, you're having this discussion and it's so light. I watched my mother my birth mother deal with drugs on and off, and it actually killed her at the end. Mm-hmm. Since I was a child, since the crack epidemic, since the 80s. I've had to live through foster homes and grown up in group homes and things of that nature because I couldn't stay with her because she was on drugs and so on. So to see people that you love, see people that you look up to, and see people that you connect with, that you hold dear to your heart, go down that path, it hurts. It really hurts when you really want to see your girls and your sisters and your friends do better for themselves. And I know it's easier said than done on the outside looking in because that's not my struggle. But you mean so much in this community to not put at least an effort to try to help yourself.
Oh, I do put the effort. And
I just want you to know that I pray for you down over and over again. I pray for you because I want to see you better. I pray for you because I think your vision and your mental, when it's clear, you can go even further than where you are and where you've taken us. It's because of your vision. People know me in this world. Mm-hmm. It's because of your vision, your platform.
Hold up. I think that's where you got things misconstrued. Tea Time was built. It was three trans women, and we were imperfect. It was an idea that started off from the death of Islam Nettles.
I understand, and actually, I need you to understand.
To reach out to trans girls to come together. So I need you to put some recognition to my part of the whole thing too. Because
this is not about you right now.
I know, but you're discrediting. You're saying I'm not
discrediting you at all. Period. You know your worth. You know what you know your part in this. This is not about tea time with the girls. This is about reaching out to my trans sister, Fox in particular.
Right, but what I'm saying is this. When you put all that weight on one person, on something that was built as a group effort, when the train goes downhill, you're putting the group. It's like everything that we do on this channel, people say, "Oh, Fox Giselle's a mess. I don't want to see it." She's like one person out of a trio. So yeah, okay. You get what I'm saying, Fox? People won't support anything we do because you're not even in something, and they say, "I still don't want to watch it because I don't like Fox." Mm-hmm. So it's just an issue when you put Fox was not the founder. She was this was a co-founded brand. Tea Time was built.
But you have to understand. I had gotten closer to Fox than the rest of you girls. And this is not about, I'm not giving you the credit where credit is due. This was simply me trying to reach out to my trans sister to just basically saying, I'm seeing her life be displayed publicly in a way that I feel awful to even watch. But I had to unfollow your pages, Fox, not because I don't love you, because it hurts me to see you go down this path. Actually, this is not about you. This is not even necessarily about the tea time with the girls. This is about reaching out to a sister in serious need of help. At first, it was a kiki. At first, it was funny. At first, it was like, wow, this is just, but now it's just like, oh, no, this is not funny anymore. This is not funny anymore because this is a life. This is your life. And I don't want to see anything. I don't want to see anything happen to you permanently. I don't want to see you dead. I don't want to see you hurt. I don't want to see you go through these things just for a few likes and a few shares on Facebook. This is not entertainment. This is real life. And maybe it's that I'm a bit more passionate. Not that I'm saying that you girls aren't. But when I put you in the sister category, that means you're my real sister. And I really feel that in my heart. Not, oh, hey, sis. No, I'm talking about the same love that I have from my biological sister. Ashley, you clearly know your worth. You know what you've put into this. You've been trying to go on with the show, you know, and doing your thing. Kudos to you. But this is not about you. This is about reaching out to her from me. So we can talk about all of these issues, but this is an issue for real. We can generalize a lot of trans shit, but we all have real personal things that we make public that needs to be discussed. When I put that post up not too long ago that I just want to book a flight to LA to save my sister Fox, I was serious. I was dead serious. Because we're not making it easier. This behavior doesn't make it easier for the world that you want to be accepted in. Not me, but the world that you want to be accepted in. The shit that goes down in those live videos, we wonder why the men are behaving this way. Because this is what they're looking up online when they do their research on a quote unquote tranny. This is the behavior that they see. So this is what they say, well, this is how I can treat all these motherfucking faggots. Because this is what they like. But again, I'm just talking out of my experience. And this is not to discredit the entire Tea Time. I think that entire show was special. And I want to see, excuse me, and I want to see it come back. Even bigger and better. Because it was something necessary for our community, something big. You girls were bringing girls together that may have never spoke to each other on a regular.
Right, and where I'm coming from is the fact that with Fox Giselle being from Alabama and Milan Zanotti being from California, I was the only trans woman from the East Coast, from New York City, that knew the girls and that spent years trying to get all these trans women to get in one place, being told, I don't like this person. I don't want to sit next to that person. I don't like that person. That was years of dealing with that just for people to dismiss my part in the whole show. Like, oh yeah, Fox Giselle's show.
I don't think anybody's dismissing.
It wasn't her show. She was a co-producer. We were all co-producing the show. So it really, I'm sensitive towards the terminology of how you're saying.
You can be sensitive, but actually be sensitive. But it was Fox's name that carried that show. No shade. Take it how you want to take it. She was the more popular girl out of that entire show.
After the show.
Doesn't matter.
After the show.
It doesn't matter. When people thought about Tea Time with the girls, they thought about Fox. The few times I had been on the show, she was calling the shots. You know, if you want to make it public and you want to make clear that it was a team effort, yes. But before this conversation, I never thought for a second that I needed to discredit your role in this. You're not going live and showing your life in such a fashion.
Right, I get what you're saying. Yeah, and that's why
this has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do. This had nothing really to do with Tea Time with the girls. I was just expressing to her how I feel from the bottom of my heart and what she's been able to do for my life. Our private conversations, our private talks on the phone. The shit that we find out that we had in common as women.
Right.
The friendship we were building. So it's hard for me to see it, only simply because I've seen my mother kill herself over years of going back and forth doing the worst shit. It doesn't end pretty. These stories don't end nice. So I'm not trying to attack Fox, and I'm not trying to discredit you or the other girl or the other girls whoever had hands in it. All I know, it was a platform that it was well needed in our community that started off very classy and it started to get real trashy. And depending on who you are in this world and what you're going for and what image you're trying to put out there, that's what is good for you. For me personally, I just want to behave in a classy way until I have to get ratchet. It'd be nothing for me I've gone viral 3 or 4 times in life. It'd be nothing for me to act really, really bad or act ratchet just for a few likes. But as I get older, I'm worried more about my integrity and my dignity and my legacy. I'm not going to leave children behind, so that's not the legacy. So my legacy is going to be my reputation. My legacy is going to be the way I walk, the way I talk, how I handle myself, how I put myself together, how I work, how I date, how I live, how I love. So excuse me if my life is not wrapped up with just trade and Tina or trade and coke or trade and booze or trade and living that life. Because the only thing that I can see judging from it outside looking in is going to lead you down to a miserable motherfucking life and dead at the end of it.
Yeah, and sadly, it's an epidemic in the community. A lot of girls. Every guy that messages me is saying that they're asking me if I do it. So this is I think a lot of people in the community, we all know that a lot of the people, everyone's turning to something to numb the years of abuse, the years of pain. And I think that when we have more examples like you, Jaisha, I think a lot of people feel inspired. And I appreciate everything that you bring to us, that you share with us, because a lot of girls, every time people mention tea time, they mention your bravery and how much you made them feel like they can empower themselves when they're in public. So I think that you and Fox, you've made a lot of brown and black girls feel good about themselves, whether, it was messy or not, but to see themselves, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because we have there's Tea Time London. The girls in London, they always live for some Jaisha. Like the girl with the hammer.
I would, it's and that's just a perfect example of I can walk with class and get ratchet when I need to. Because I've come from a world that I've learned quickly that the world that I live in, they don't respect trash. Doesn't matter if it's black, white, straight, trans, gay, or however you identify yourself. I'm going to go to my grave saying this. Class will always win over trash. Period, point blank. When I'm walking into an establishment, you have no other choice but to show me kindness and respect because I'm carrying myself with kindness and respect.
Right.
Why do we still, well, that's all great and well, but I mean, if that's true, why do we still have the president that we have right now? I'm just being honest. And this is why I wanted to bring this up earlier on, is because, not only do I feel like my trans life doesn't matter, but I get very scared when I see videos of, men telling cisgender women, I'll touch you if I want to and I'll rape you if I want to. Because that type of behavior bleeds into men. It doesn't matter how much self-respect or not. But if a man feels like he can get away with it and it feels like that your life doesn't matter, then hey. That says a lot. But we as Americans
still there?
Brianna.
Yes.
Are you falling asleep?
You still there, girl? You just go styling on us.
No. I'm letting y'all get it out this thing, honey. I will chime in when I'm gonna get
What do you think
about what?
About everything that was just said?
I mean, what can I say? What about Trump or about what she about Fox?
The whole thing about black trans women not loving themselves.
I I mean, I can. For me, I can't teach somebody else how to love themselves. I know for me, I love myself, but I do struggle with depression, and being in law school has exacerbated that depression. But for me, I just have to know that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. And personally, I don't put all of my self worth in having a man. I think that's where a lot of trans women mess up. I feel like that's where a lot of black cis women mess up. I know that by myself in my apartment, my dog, like I'm at the point where me just being me and enjoying my private time and enjoying my peace, that's good enough for me. That's good enough for me. So it's definitely a process, and there's not to say that there are not days when I don't feel like getting out of bed, or I feel overwhelmed because I feel like society doesn't care for me as a black trans woman. But I don't know. For me, I just have the will to. I'm just a fighter. I just have the will to keep fighting and keep persevering and keep opening myself to experiences for me, and not using a man as a distraction or using a man as a way to complete myself or to find myself work. Fuck these men. I mean, that's all I gotta say.
Actually,
is Fox still there?
Yeah. I was gonna actually do a comment shout out. Addie basically had said, yes, Jai is a class over trash. Emmy Costello says, Ashley Tea Time is legendary. You, Fox and Milan, and Quez, I think I'm saying the person's name right. Please don't, please don't come for me. As she was talking about Jaisha, she says this woman has the power of speaking. Jaisha,
power of what?
The power of speaking. Motivational
speaking.
Yes, yeah. I think that's something that you should really try and go for it. And unlike other people like Janet Mock and Laverne Cox, they don't have to pay you as much to preach about bullshit. They can pay you to preach about your own experience.
Okay, bitch, give me all right. Thanks, Fox, honey, for calling me the cheap bitch. Okay, honey. All right, bitch. So now I'm the $20 hooker, huh? Okay, bitch. Okay, bitch. Those girls. Oh fuck, I done fucked up my brush. Shit. Fucking. Thank you, girl. So I'm not worth the $250 date, bitch. I'm the crackhead girl. All right, I get you. All right, bitch, I get you. I get what you giving. I get what you giving. That's all right.
Those girls are. That's all right. 100 for speaking engagement. They could probably get you for at least a good 700 or 500 first, but then you got to start somewhere.
Oh, okay. That was a nice cleanup, honey. That was a nice cleanup, girl.
Or you start doing your seminars of Fantasy Fulfilled.
Well, let's put that out into the universe. But you know what it is? It's just that it's not that it happens all the time. I'm just passionate on certain things, certain topics, and certain people. And Fox, I just need you to know that I'm very passionate for you. That's it. Yeah. That's it.
Fulfilled sound like a striptease show title. No shade.
What'd you say?
I said Fantasy Fulfilled sound like a striptease show title.
Well, you know what? I remember coming up with that hashtag at the beginning of Instagram. And the meaning of me when I used to say it back when I used to work at Mac, before it was even a real hashtag, I used to just be like, bitch, I'm fulfilling my fantasies. I'm fulfilling my dreams. That's what that means. Everything that I dream to do, I'm living it, which means I'm fulfilling it. Yes, I'm fulfilling the fantasy. If I want to go blonde, it was a dream. And if I go blonde, bitch, it's fulfilled. If I was dreaming about a Philly cheesecake and I go buy that, bitch, she's fulfilled. If I want to take a trip to LA and be a part of that life for one whole week, it's fulfilled. If I'm walking in my purpose, I'm fulfilling my fantasy. I'm fulfilling my dreams. Every day I put this lace piece on. Every day I carve those brows in. I'm fulfilling the fantasy. I get to go outside and live in my purpose, fulfilling my true fantasy. And that's what the hashtag came from.
No,
I want that shit on my tombstone, honey. It's mine. It's mine.
You can do a speaking engagement / striptease show now. That will really get you.
Okay, you know what, Bree? I'm gonna need you to shut up, girl. Okay, I'm not taking my clothes off. Those days have come and gone, honey. I'm not that girl. I'm not knocking the girls that take their clothes off. I just figure I can do something more different with my clothes on.
Yes,
while we still have time,
keep your clothes on.
Calling number for pull up and pop off is 310-596-5663. If you want to pull up and pop off about any topic that we've been talking about today.
Right. Going back, me and Fox have spoke about possibly rebooting Tea Time with younger trans girls sometime in the future. I think that would really be
LA.
Yeah, we tried, but the girls. Oh, you want to talk about how Tea Time LA, how it started and failed?
Oh, like how one girl, particularly, decided that we can go on without her and tell other two cast members not to come back. I mean, yeah.
Well, were those the only transsexuals in LA?
Those were the ones that we were looking for as far as for this project, for that project.
Well, what Fox realized is that, like, you know, in New York, the girls, they show up for something for free, but in LA, the girls wanted to be paid to show up.
Oh, okay.
So basically, the trans girls in LA, they want a check to show up and organize. And people don't understand that Tea Time was not about like this. This isn't scripted. This isn't an acting gig. This is about trans women of color sharing their stories to the world.
Do you remember when we did Tea Time with the girls and what was the girl's name? The one Jaisha was on, and the
Sophie.
No. The Cutter girl. On the subways. I forgot her name.
Chrissy.
Yeah. And we wanted her to come on. And you remember she thought we were getting paid for this. Like, I want to be a part of this.
Oh, that was the show. I couldn't stop laughing at her.
Oh yeah, because she was putting up her GoFundMe account for.
I just couldn't. I'm sorry, honey. I mean, I just couldn't with her. I was just like, she was such a beautiful girl to look at, and I thought when she opened her mouth, she was just dumb and stupid. And I've never thought this thought about women. I'm giving my opinion. This is what I thought. This is what I thought when I met her. And, you know, I don't say negative things about the girls. It's just, I was just like, you know, some women should just be seen and not heard. She's one of them.
Well, she's a model. She's a model.
Exactly. And she does great work. I like all her pictures. I like everything about her. In fact, she's a very successful trans model because she's always on the runway and she's always on somebody's shoot. I just don't want to hear her speak. When she was that day, I was just like, girl. Okay, girl.
When you can be an Uber driver. I
hear you laughing, Brianna.
Because she probably thought the same thing. I was just like, oh my God, this girl's so dumb.
You're just so horrible.
It was just the truth. I remember it was y'all's fault because I think we smoked a little weed or had some cocktails before that show or during. So when she started talking, I actually couldn't stop laughing in her face. I was like, wait, what is she saying?
You can't even blame her because in this day and age, when you can be an Uber driver and get read for filth by two Spanish butch queens and call it racism and raise enough coin on your GoFundMe up to like, how much was it, Ashley? 20 G's?
Oh, the guy that was the Uber driver, he raised like $40,000.
Oh!
What?
Girl, let me get harassed. I won't be a shout out from another trans.
Sure. A lot of people are capitalizing off of events. And yeah, it is what it is. I feel like certain people, sometimes it is owed. Like, I feel like Jaija's situation, yeah, there should have been a GoFundMe up as soon as that happened.
Yeah.
To get the hell out the area.
Exactly.
I think if anything happens again in the future, we know better. I think that definitely. But also celebrity, having people help promote links, that does play into it too. Because if no one shares your link when you need help, then no one's gonna donate. So when you have all that into place, you know, you do get a lot of donations.
Also, comment shout out. Basically, Addie said, I think you could really be a well-known activist. Talking about you, Diana.
What?
Addie had said, I think you would really be a well-known activist. And my cynical optimism has said she should be a motivational speaker, like Lisa Nichols.
Wait. Aren't you my cynical optimism?
I just realized that.
Girl.
Wait, what happened? Wait, what
You're
happened?
reading your own comment? Oh, God, girl. It's time to go.
I was going down the line. And Adi said, girl, if you can do Time Chicago, I'll be all for it.
Right. Tea Time Chicago would be everything. I want to see a Tea Time Atlanta.
Oh, that'd be kind.
That'd be cute.
Oh, we should do a Tea Time upstate.
I think we should probably just settle for Tea Time Newark for right now.
How about, bitch, we just go globally Tea Time Survival, bitch. How about we try to stay alive? Okay, bitch. Tea Time that. Let's that go be global, honey. Okay, Tea Time how to survive.
Survivor Tea Time.
Addie actually is putting in. She is taking the challenge. She says, y'all did LA and New York. I'd be happy to try to get girls in Chicago.
That's sickening.
Hey.
That's sickening. Because it only takes about an hour or two for taping, honey. And the way you guys started off, just simply being filmed and on a couch.
Exactly.
You know, and then it went into renting studio places and tables. Like it, you know, you had your own mugs and coffees and cups and cue cards, and it was going someplace. And I don't want to see that end. I don't want to see it die out because, bitch, we need it.
No, it isn't. I mean, we got Tea Time London. I mean, Tea Time is a very social.
Tea Time London. Yeah, a lot of people are loving. See, the issue is a lot of girls in America, they don't understand the accents. But I say give the girls a chance. If you have the time, go click on the Tea Time Network channel and click on Tea Time London. I collaborated with Kachunga to bring that together. She's having a hard time getting the girls in London together. So this is a thing too. Like, not only is it hard to put the show together, but the girls don't always show up, especially if they feel like they're not getting paid. Which is sad that we can't show up for each other unless we're being paid.
Ooh, bitch, we should do a Tea Time Uganda, bitch.
Yes, Tea Time Wakanda.
No, Uganda.
Oh, bitch, I'm pumping through. I don't care where that one's filmed. If I gotta fly out to that one, I'm pumping through.
Tea Time Uganda. Oh my God, Uganda is girl. Would they allow it? Would they allow it?
Hell no, bitch.
Isn't Uganda where the president said that gay people eat the people?
Girl, you might as well have Tea Time Kingston in the gutters.
Oh shit!
Wait,
hold on. Wait a minute. You said Uganda or Wakanda? I thought we were talking about the Black Panther. Wait, what she say?
No, now
Oh, okay. Never mind. No, you girls can. You girls can FaceTime me in, Skype me in on that one, honey. Okay, because I'm not going anywhere that there's a high chance that I may not make it back. It's not worth it. Sorry.
But Cynthia's confident she's coming to Uganda. Okay.
Oh, I misunderstood that. You know what? No, I misunderstood that. I take that all back, and I was excited too. The first thing I thought was, I'm gonna show up, bitch, giving you all types of African princess, African queen, you know, with my tribal marks on. Okay, sorry. I misunderstood that. No.
There's some people that think that Wakanda actually exists.
No, I know it doesn't, but I thought of the effect. I thought of the effect. I'm like, oh, okay, bitch. Yes, Wakanda forever. Yeah, no, never mind. Never mind.
Right. Well, I think we're pushing over 2 hours.
Yeah, and I have to get up really early. I have an early morning gig to do makeup with a friend at the Alvin Ailey. So I have to get off and wash my brushes and things, but it was getting too good. It was too passionate for me to get off the phone, honey, you know?
I feel like, hey, yo, we can always get together and do this again. I want to thank you so much, Jaisha and Brianna, for even writing back to me. I know that the girls get tired of me. They're like, girl, what do you want now? But thanks for showing up and logging in and checking in with me.
No, thank you for having me, girl, because there was a lot of things that I needed to say to this circle. You know, so, you know, and it was just a perfect outlet for it to be done now, because it's things that I've been wanting to say, and I wasn't sure on how to get through or even how to approach it, because as I'm getting older, I actually enjoy minding my own business, you know. But no, seriously, I really do. I really do. It's healthy to mind your own business, but minding your own business, and when you have a voice, it kind of sucks. The talent is going to waste, and some shit just needs to be said. But I love you all. Fox, I love you down. Bree, bitch, you know you special to me. And Ashley, you're that bitch, honey. And that new single and that new album, bitch, is lit.
Yes,
Thank you so much, girl. I really appreciate it.
You look good. And you look good in the video, too. This blonde is working for you. Mm-hmm.
That's my gig. None of you hoes better switch up with a blonde unit.
I'm coming, bitch. I'm coming for it. I want to see how I look. That same color. I want to see it. I'm coming for it. God damn it.
Also, all of our listeners, if you did not have a chance to, please, for the next episode, be ready to pull up and pop off. That's going to be our new call-in segment. Pull up and pop off.
Right.
Ashley, when you're finished, can you send me the link to where they were actually able to see the comments and stuff? Because I'm like, everyone's reading and I don't know what's going on, you know?
Okay, definitely. I'll send it to you afterwards.
All right. And for everyone that's listening that said really nice things to me, thank you. All right. That's it.
All right. Love you all. Thank you. Any last words, Brianna?
No, good night, good fight. The girls checking your moans and drink water. I don't, you know.
All right. Girl.
I like to end it off with something very positive. You know, tell the trade your tea, don't do drugs. You know, treat sisters with love and respect, and and say your prayers before you.
Oh, I do got something to say. Don't ever let a nigga leave at first. That's what I gotta say.
Say it out. Can you repeat that again?
I said, if a nigga coming over your house to cut up, make sure he makes you nut first.
Down, because we all know what see nuts, honey. No matter how long he said he was gonna come over for Netflix and chill, honey. All of a sudden, he got things to do, and he got a job.
And he has an issue with that ass.
Oh, those are the boys you shame. You weak ass, dick ass nigga, and you put them out, and you make them go home, and make them feel bad. Okay, I love you, girls.
All right.
Bye.
Good night.